Lesson 15. 15th lesson. Discussion of Lesson 13. Simple present tense negative. Teacher, there are one or two things to notice about Lesson 13. It says, Mr. Priestley is not a young man. But he is not old. So the opposite of old is young. But isn't there another opposite of old? Mr. A. Yes, there is new, isn't there? The opposite of an old book is not a young book, but a new book. Teacher, that is quite right. Notice, 2. The two uses of old. 1. He is an old man. 2. The boy is 5 years old. Mr. B. It says, Mr. Priestley is tall. What is the opposite of tall, please? Teacher, the opposite of tall is short. Here is a tall man and a short man. Mr. Littleman is short. Mr. Lengthy is tall. Mr. C. Do you say, Mr. Lengthy has 77 inches, or, Mr. Littleman has only 62 inches? Teacher, no, we don't say that. We say, Mr. Lengthy is 6 foot, 5 inches tall, or, Mr. Littleman is only 5 foot 2, or, Mr. Priestley is 6 feet. And speaking of a person's age we say, Mr. Priestley is 44 years old, and not, Mr. Priestley has 44 years. Miss D. Isn't there another opposite of short? The opposite of a short stick isn't a tall stick, is it? Teacher, no, you are quite right. The opposite of a short person is a tall person. The opposite of a short thing is a long thing. For example, a short stick, a long stick. I am going for a short walk. My friend is going for a long one. Miss D. Mr. Priestley works very late. Too late, I think. Perhaps he doesn't know the saying, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Teacher, oh, yes, he knows it. But he doesn't believe it. Do you, Miss D? Miss D. No, I don't believe it. I go to bed early and rise early. I am healthy, but I am not wealthy and not very wise. Miss E. The lesson speaks about Mr. Priestley being strong, meaning, with a strong character. Do you use the same word for a man with a strong body? Teacher, oh, yes. Here you are. Mr. Armstrong has strong arms. He is a very strong man. Mr. Feeble is not strong. His arms are very weak. He is a weak man. Miss F. Can you speak of strong tea or strong coffee? Teacher, oh, yes, and strong drink and strong language. Miss F. Mr. Armstrong is a tall, strong man. Is he, then, a big man or a great man? Teacher, a big one, not a great one. Miss F. What is the difference, please? Teacher, well, it is rather difficult to put into a few words, but, in short, one is of the body. The other is of the spirit and character of a man. Bigness is a bodily thing, greatness is a spiritual one. A great man can have, like Lord Nelson, a weak body, but he has a strong spirit. A big man can have bodily strength, but spiritual weakness. Miss F. Thank you. I quite see the difference now. Mr. H. In the lesson we read about Mr. Priestley's dark brown hair and dark blue suit. What is the opposite of dark brown and dark blue? Teacher, light brown and light blue. Mr. H. Mr. Priestley is always well dressed. Another man is not well dressed. He is what? Teacher, well, what do you think? Mr. H. I think, badly dressed. Teacher, and that is quite right. Next question. Please. Miss D. Mr. Priestley is rather thin. What is the opposite of thin, please? Teacher, well, it depends on the sentence. The opposite of a thin man is a fat man, of a thin cow is a fat cow, but the opposite of thin book is a thick book. So we could say, one stick is short and thick. Another one is long and thin. Miss D. Mr. Priestley is good-looking and handsome. Can you use those words to describe girls or women, as well as men? Teacher, yes, you can. But generally we speak of girls as pretty, or beautiful, Miss E. But do you speak of men as pretty, or beautiful? Teacher, oh, no, never. Mr. B. Is there a difference between the girl is pretty, and the girl is beautiful? Teacher, yes, I think so. Pretty is pleasant to the eye or ear. Some new dance music is pretty. But the music of Beethoven or Handel or Tchaikovsky is beautiful. Miss F. Yes. The pictures in a newspaper can be pretty, but the pictures of Raphael and El Greco, Rembrandt or Turner, are beautiful. Teacher, quite right. Beauty is rather like greatness. It is a spiritual thing. It is in the spirit of a man, and it comes out in his work, or it is in the character of a woman, and it comes out in her face. Do you understand the difference now, Mr. B? Mr. B. Oh, yes, I know the difference now. Nearly all girls are good-looking, some are pretty, a few, a very few, are beautiful. Grammar. The simple present tense negative. To form the simple present tense negative of all verbs except to be, can, and one or two others, we use the verb do with not and the infinitive of the verb. E.g. affirmative, negative, I teach, I do not teach, you come, you do not come, he teaches, he does not teach, they work, they do not work, it moves, it does not move. In conversation we often shorten do not to don't and does not to doesn't. Here are other examples, with the two forms, the long form and the shortened conversational form. We do not, don't, say that, p. 107. Perhaps he does not, doesn't, know the saying, p. 107. He knows it but he does not, doesn't, believe it, p. 107. I do not, don't, believe it, p. 107. John does not, doesn't, do his work every day. The students do not, don't, do their work every day. Do not, don't, open the window, please. Please do not, don't, open the window. Practice all combinations. There are 45. Here are examples of negative answers. Question. Answer. Does Mr. Priestley speak Chinese? No, he doesn't. Does he live in Liverpool? No, he doesn't. Do the students come to the class every day? No, they don't. Do you speak English well? No, I don't. Does John do his work well? No, he doesn't. 2. Note the two uses of to. 1. I come to the class, my friend comes too. There are English boys at the hotel, and Norwegian boys, too. He speaks English and French and Spanish too. 2. Mr. Priestley works late. Too late, I think. That work is too difficult for a young boy. You are never too old to learn. Phrases in short. You are quite right. It depends on. Put it into a few words. What do you think? A few. Word study. The word dance can be 1. A noun. E.g. I am going to a dance. This is one of the new dances. 2. A verb. E.g. they dance very well together. Can you dance? 3. An adjective. Some new dance music is pretty. Henry plays in a dance band. Nouns ANP adjectives. Adjective, noun, healthy, health, bodily, body, wealthy, wealth, spiritual, spirit, great, greatness, wise, wisdom. Related words: believe, believer, belief, disbelieve. I believe he is a good teacher. I am a believer in getting up early. The earth goes round the sun. That is the general belief. It is difficult to believe his story, but I do not want to disbelieve him. Use, use, useful, usefully, useless. You can use my pen. It is no use trying to write without ink. That is a useful book. He lives usefully and happily. He does a lot of useless work. Thank, thanks, thankful, thankfulness. Thank you for the use of your pen. Give your friend my thanks for the use of his book. I am very thankful to be well again. I am full of thankfulness at being well again. Exercises. Oral exercise. I answer the following questions affirmatively, i.e. begin, yes, B, negatively, i.e. begin, no, using the short form. 1. Does the man work in the field? 2. Do the men work in the fields? 3. Does she make good coffee? 4. Do they make good coffee? 5. Do you make good coffee? 6. Is the man very handsome? 7. Does he read many books? 8. Is he reading a book now? 9. Does he speak English? 10. Do they speak English? 11. Can she speak English? 12. Can they speak English? 13. Do you go to bed early? 14. Does he go to bed early? 2. Make each of these negative. Use the short form. Mr. Priestley teaches English. Mary knows French. You speak Spanish. They writes Polish. Paddy works late. I go to the class. The little boys do much work. E.g. Mr. Priestley doesn't speak Spanish. They don't work late, etc. There are 49 sentences. 3. Make the following negative. 1. The man works in the field. 2. She makes very good coffee. 3. They make very good tea. 4. Please close the door. 5. The man is very handsome. This one is different. Be careful. 2. With numbers 8, 10, 14, 19, 6. He reads many books. 7. The waiters do their work well. 8. He can speak English very well. 9. She writes a letter every day. 10. The students have new books. 11. I go to bed very early. 12. The boy swims to the big rock. 13. The boys swim to the big rock. 14. The girls are playing tennis with their fathers. 15. The girls play tennis with their fathers. 16. The dog sleeps all day in the hotel. 17. I climb big mountains. 18. Harry climbs big mountains. 19. Harry is climbing the big mountain. 20. I know all about the negative of verbs. IV. Give the names of 5 colors and use each one in a sentence. V. Give the names of 2 pretty things and 2 beautiful ones. Use each in a sentence. Vi. Give the opposites of strong, tall, fat, late, thick, dark, young, right, warm, big, far, short, good, high, new. Use each in a sentence. Dictation. Strong men are not always tall, small people are not always weak, it depends on the person. A man may be weak in body but strong in character. He can have spiritual strength with bodily weakness. Beauty is rather like greatness. It, too, is in the character of a man or a woman, and this spirit in men and women gives the world its great music, books, and pictures. Composition. Write about this picture. Thank you very much for the likes, and subscribe to our channel.